Meanwhile, the president's budget expected out this week. We could see historic cuts to the federal workforce. Billionaire investor Paul DeJoria on this administration looking to do more with less. Thanks for coming on. You're probably the best person out there to talk about this. You're a successful entrepreneur. You understand how things work.
Yes, sir. I certainly do.
And we've got a businessman in the White House now.
Yeah. Now, I may not agree with the man's demeanor, but some of the things they're saying is correct. A good example is during the Reagan administration, W.R. Grace was asked to do a complete research of the federal government, very successful businessman, and come back and tell him, how do we save money, how do we have more spending money, cut back on deficit? His answer was, get rid of 1/3 of all the federal employees. Well, why is that? Because it's inefficient. With all due respect, a lot of people aren't doing their full capabilities, and they get bored doing this.
Right.
And you don't have to do it through firing everybody. Do it through attrition. Someone retires, somebody leaves. Just have fewer people doing more. And we know that works at John Paul Mitchell Systems worldwide. We have about 300 employees. We're in 96 countries, but it's all efficiency. When I decided to keep my products in America and make all of our liquid products here in America, I may have saved 2 cents abroad, but we did it here.
Right.
Through efficiency. Efficiency works.
Efficiency works. I've heard it before, but almost anyone who's watching who's ever been to a post office understands that these folks that you're talking about are really entrenched. I'm not sure how many are close to retirement age, but your plan may take a little bit longer than we could afford, considering that we're already at $20 trillion on the national debt.
Oh, terrible, terrible.
Now, there's been some scuttlebutt that President Trump wants to cut some of these agencies by as much as 14% to make it all work. Remember, we're lowering corporate taxes, we're lowering individual taxes, and there's arguments over how do you, quote-unquote, pay for that. I'm supply-sider, so I think a lot of it gets paid with velocity of money. But having said that, drastic cuts may be needed now. Are you against that? I mean, think about the shutdown. When we heard the term non-essential government workers, it was almost half of them.
Exactly. No, I'm not against that at all. And the reason why is, if we don't, we're going to have a bankrupt country. If we don't, we'll be how Spain and other countries were years ago. We'll go through such huge challenges. It's better to take a bit of a challenge now instead of an enormous one later on. This is how to do it. And with all due respect, again, and I may not agree with the guy's demeanor, but he is right. It's like running a business. You cannot keep on going in debt and debt and debt. We, the people, have to pay for it. And then you get shocked when you find out that more than half goes to things such as Social Security and other things, which, by the way, are good for America. I'm not saying they're not. But look at it realistically. Everyone I've spoken to, everyone, Charles, has said this. Would you mind retiring at 67, 68 years old instead of 65? They said, are you kidding? We'd love to work to 67, 68 years old.
Right.
We'd love to. We're younger, more vibrant. We don't want to retire at that age. That is just some of the things somebody could do as a smart business person that really doesn't hurt people, that benefits everybody.
Yeah, I think the problem, though, is it's the political third rail, not for the president, but for those entrenched lifers, who go to Congress and I believe they are sincere particularly when they initially run and they say they get on the soapbox and they're going to do this and do that, and all of a sudden they get there, they get the power, and they never want to leave, so they're afraid of those so-called third rails. But you've got to reform these things. You've got to begin with the bloated government. We know this government is bloated. We know that the 5 richest counties in America all circle, the Washington, D.C. orbit. So having said that, will it take the American public probably is going to have to put some pressure on these guys?
Exactly. It's still we the people, Charles Payne. It's we the people. They have to put pressure. With all due respect, once again, we have some great career politicians out there, great ones, but many of them know nothing about business. They've never run a business before, and they want to get reelected, a good portion. Just say, what do I have to get reelected? I don't want to offend this guy. I don't want to offend that guy. I don't want to offend the unions. They're behind me, whatever the case may be. But people have to understand, it's we the people of the United States. Unless we the people back off a little bit right now and let private industry take over. Let private industry do a lot of these philanthropic things. They talk about the Environmental Protection Agency. Are you going to cut back on people or programs? You could have fewer people, but doing the same program.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at that a little bit. Is it people in the military? When you put more money into the military, is it people or equipment? If it's more people in the military, is a good portion of that, you're going to create more jobs that you may take away from other facilities of the federal government.
Before I let you go, want to get your feel on the economy this year so far. We've had 2 jobs reports. pretty good reports, particularly if you look beneath the surface and you see what kind of jobs are being created. How's your business doing?
They're going well. Paul Mitchell is doing very, very well. Patron is doing extremely well. John Paul Penn is up for the best. And Rock Mobile.
I mean, I've been drinking a Patron. You got to give me $10 and 20.
At least. I think at least a bottle with your name on it, Charles.
Exactly. Right. You know, you're one of my favorites. You're a straight shooter, and I think the audience is always learns when you come on. Thank you very much.
America works, sir.
Appreciate it.